Hey guys, I'm Chad Hoover, and for this week's tow trip, I'm taking my show on the road and heading to Stafford, Virginia, chasing some northern snakeheads and Potomac River tidal largemouth. What is up, guys? It took me about 2 hours to get ready this morning because this is the first time I've been fishing since the accident, and it's taken me a while to get my stuff put back together. But we about to crank it up right now. I'm here with Scylla Johnson and Mike Ortega from NVKBA. That stands for North Virginia Kayak Bass Anglers. We're in Stafford, Virginia, and we're gonna be fishing a few of the local hot spots around here. But anyway, now we're just gonna go fishing because it's been a minute.
My name is Mike Ortega Jr. I am the tournament director for Northern Virginia Kayak Bass Anglers. We are a KBF partner club. We try to fish everything we can here in Northern Virginia. Our biggest motto, we like to call it the Triple C effect, which is competition, community, and camaraderie.
I am Scylla Johnson. I am a mother of 4. When I discovered kayak fishing about 4 years ago, I thought it would be perfect for me because it's something small that I can handle on my own and be able to go out and hit waters like these. I've made quite a few friends through this, and I've been able to catch a lot of different species, a lot of bigger fish, and I really, really enjoy it. It's something that I do all the time now.
I got into kayak fishing right when I got back from my last tour overseas in Afghanistan. My father-in-law had actually got Riley, my son, into kayak fishing while I was deployed. Obviously, Riley, he likes to say that he got me into the sport. In a lot of cases he did. It was another way for me to connect with my son.
Got one. When you catch a fish on your first cast, it feels good. It just sends a good feeling through your body and you're ready for the rest of the day.
Let me snap a picture there of you.
Today I got a day off school. School's sometimes kind of frustrating. It's just good to take a day off and just go fish and relax.
Riley is going to teach us all a bass fishing lesson. So, Riley, what's the secret to catching fish today? What is it that we need to focus on?
Trick worms, crayfish, imitations, shaky head, stuff like that.
How many fish have you caught already?
4.
4 fish while I was rigging my gear. Good job, buddy. Let's get out there and smash a big one.
Not very big, but it's fish.
Caught 3 now on a 5XD. Running it on the grass line around 18 to 25 foot ledges. I fished here a couple weeks ago and we were able to see a lot of fish busting at the top and on the shore.
Here we go. Ah. It was a tiny little peckerhead. A tiny little peckerhead.
Got him. He's not a bad one. He's strong for his size. He's really not that big of a fish.
One of the great things about places like Lake Mooney is it's not a trophy lake, but it's a place where you can get a lot of action. Fishing lakes like that, especially with kids, is just the way to go. It keeps their confidence up, it keeps them excited, and it really gets them hooked on fishing. That's why it was also a great place to take Scylla.
I probably caught like 30 fish in there a couple weeks ago.
I've caught 11 so far, but I've missed a lot. I think if I caught every bite that I had, I would probably have like 40 or 50 fish. I wonder how many Chad has.
That's legitimately like a little dink. Like that's a dink. All right, so I was talking to Riley and I asked him what his biggest fish was. And he told me that it was 6 pounds, 13 ounces. So Virginia does a really cool thing. They actually issue citations. In a lot of places around the world, if you get a citation, that's a ticket. But what's cool about this young man is he actually has a citation of his biggest fish, and that's what it looks like right there. Does this look cool on the wall next to your dad's citations?
He didn't have any.
So you legitimately are out here teaching your dad how to fish.
So, true story. Finally starting to build up some confidence today. Ended up catching decent, measurable fish, and sure enough, I look back and Riley's already pulling like 2 more in on top of me. Riley, how big is it?
Like 12 inches.
Supposed to slow down a little bit. Let me catch up.
I don't think so.
Come on now. Aren't you supposed to be in school?
Number 7.
You know, it really made for great TV having Riley along, especially since he kept up with the number of fish that he caught.
Number 10.
The question I have is, though, does he do that every time he's going fishing? And is he kind of really rubbing it in his dad's face?
That's number 13. How many fish have you caught?
Not as much as you.
I didn't realize I had one. I think this is number 14. Oh my gosh. This is insane. I feel like I'm gonna miss every fish. Today's been a great day because I've caught 12 fish. I mean, I could have had better because I missed about like 13 to 14 fish. I probably could have had 30 to 40 today. That's why it was, yeah, an okay day.
Well,
missing a fish is very disappointing to me because you feel like, hey, like I'm gonna catch a fish, like this is about to go down. And then as soon as you set that hook, there's nothing there. Oh, there he is. All right, I'm gonna let him eat it this time. I can't, I literally, I can't do this. This crazy fish.
you know, one of the biggest characteristics or things that you have to consistently catch fish is confidence. And everybody's got their little thing that they do that helps them be more confident. And it's interesting to see the things that kids come up with. In fact, while fishing with Riley, I observed him doing this thing that he calls the pin tap.
So I hold my rod like this, kind of like you would hold a pencil, just because it gives your lure a very nice action. I know some people hold it like this. I hold it like that when I'm reeling in the fish. This gives it a good action, but sometimes you overdose it. But this, you can just, with the flick of the wrist, like, it's really nice. It was him. It was him all along. You're a bad fish.
One thing I can say for sure is because it forces him to slow down and focus a little bit more on his presentation, it definitely helps. It's one of those things where he observed that if he slows down, he changes up what he's doing, he stops reeling, and he focuses on feeling the fish, then he's gonna catch more fish.
Something's clearly working for him because he's catching a lot of fish today. It's just one of those things as a dad, you know, you sort of set him up with the basic tools that he needs, and he just sort of took it and ran with it, and you know, things he picks up and does that I would have never thought of. Hopefully he develops more stuff in the future.
Finally, I've missed so many fish today, so this feels really good. All right, let's get a release.
One of the great things about seeing Riley, you know, fishing solo in his own kayak, managing his own boat, is it demonstrates that kayak fishing is really easy. You know, it's something that everybody can do.
The beauty of kayaks is you can just make it your own. You know, no kayak is the same. You buy the shell of it, but you can go out and you can customize it to however it works for you.
Why I like the Bonafide 107 is it fits me. It's just nice and short. It's not heavy, great for backwater. The deck space, it's nice. I like the dry hatch in the middle because I can, you know, put my phone in there. I like the space in the back. I can fit a crate. And I just like that it's very stable and it's not easy to tip. He's very skinny.
Like you.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for this segment. So I got to thank my good buddy here, Mr. Mike Ortega from Northern Virginia, Kayak Bass Anglers, and for bringing this guy out on an educational field trip. Riley was the angler of the day. And so listen, guys, sometimes you can focus on catching big fish. Sometimes you can focus on catching big smiles. And today we caught plenty of them. Every time I saw him hooked up, he had a big old smile on his face. How many fish did you end up with?
14.
The answer should have been just more than all of y'all, and that would have been sufficient. So thanks, man.
Hey, appreciate having you, man.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, so listen, we're off the side of the road, just outside of Stafford, Virginia. We're near Quantico. That's about as much information as we're gonna give you because places like this, you gotta find yourself. You guys know Scylla, but if we're gonna go snakehead hunting, why not get the snakehead hunter to go with you? So I've never caught a snakehead, especially a northern snakehead. I've caught bowfin in the south, which is like some kind of cousin or something, but this is a meaner, more aggressive, harder fighting version of that fish, which is crazy. But we're gonna get out there and see if we can't find one. Are they in this area year round, except when it gets so cold that they bury up?
Yeah.
Has the state of Virginia backed off on like trying to eradicate them?
Yeah, they're slowly backing off of it. Before, they didn't want you to release them back.
Yeah, I mean, it was like you would get fined if you released them back.
So northern snakehead are a species that was first identified in May 2004, and since that time, they've really just flourished. Obviously, it's an invasive fish, but so are blue cats and so are largemouth bass, and they just make their home and they adapt to our ecosystem, and they thought that it was really destructive to our ecosystem. And they've been doing studies and determined after all this time now that they are not any danger to our ecosystem any more than any other species is here.
What's your biggest?
My biggest, it was about 7 years ago, about 15 and a half.
Oh, wow, nice.
Biggest this year, I caught right there at the corner of the duck blind. It was in May. I caught him off a frog. He was about 12 and a half. When I caught my first snakehead, I wasn't prepared for it. I got kind of freaked out and spooked by it because it was the first time I ever seen it. But just how the fish blew up on my lure and the fight it gave me, it was just like an addiction.
I like the fact that your name is Snakehead Hunter. You're standing up and you're poling and paddling through this kind of stuff because you're literally part fishing, part hunting. It's a perfect description of what we're doing here.
Snakehead, it's not just fishing, it's a lot of hunting. So you're observing bubbles, what they're coming up to breathe, or their heads coming up, disturbance in the water from them feeding, or even moving through pads.
There's a lot of action going on right here. You see all this?
There's one back there hitting the pad stalks. See that pad stalk right there?
Oh yeah, it's still doing it right there. It moved the pads pretty aggressive. Yeah, you're going right through it. Pop it through there.
I just cast it. There's one following right behind it, just stalking it right now. It's a little one, not big enough to take my frog, but it's still an awesome sight just watching them follow my frog like that. Oh, there he goes. Damn, that was pretty awesome.
I'm gonna go across and get in that edge and work my way down.
I told you we were gonna spook something right there. That's where that movement was.
Damn it.
Going.
Elmer, did you get one? Woo!
And that's how you do it, guys. And one thing about these fish, they like to thrash around. That's why typically a good landing net, a big one, will be perfect. That way you don't lose your catch or lose the fish. Here's a Northern Virginia snakehead for y'all.
Very nice.
3-4 pounder. So females are more tend to have lighter colors and their patterns stick out more.
They put off this big slime coat also, which is a defense mechanism.
Real slimy, almost just like catfish, the slime on the catfish.
Guys, mission accomplished. If you want to catch a snakehead, you call a guy whose name is Snakehead Hunter. Today I'm excited about getting the opportunity to fish with an old buddy, Marty Mood. Marty and I go back to the beginning of our kayak fishing careers, and we both got into competitive kayak fishing around the same time, and we both spent a career in the military. Marty recently moved on and transitioned to a civilian career, and it's an opportunity for us to finally get back out and share the water. There might be some reason why we're the only ones that went this way.
Well, I went this way because the last time I came this way, I did quite well. What you thinking?
I got my thinking cup out.
You think. I'm gonna go right over here and hit this brush pile again with the jig while you're thinking. There we go. That's not a big one, but. Well, it's a start. That water's a lot warmer than the air, I can tell you that. That feels good.
So Marty Moot and I have been friends for almost 20 years, and it never ceases to amaze me how I can still continue to teach him things about fishing.
What kind of lures is that in that tree there?
I'm about to find out. I'm going tree shopping. Oh, it's a little Argonaut, little hula popper thingamajigger.
That's what you professionals call it?
No, that's what the whole world calls it.
I have known Chad for too long. We got to know each other back in 2003. We actually met on the water. I think the way it happened was I was catching a bunch of fish and he was down and saw me catching a bunch and kind of moved in on me.
I think he thinks I was fishing his spot, but he was actually fishing my spot. He could probably tell it however he wants to tell it, and I'm gonna tell it however I want to tell it. There's his version, and then there's the truth.
I guess luckily I was nice to him and started talking to him, even though he moved in on me. We hit it off right away, and we started to spend a lot of time on the water together.
I think the fact that we met when we met actually made both of us better anglers. It really lit a fire under me to do a lot of what I've accomplished in this industry.
It was right at the beginning of him becoming a star. He was starting his business and doing bigger and better things. I still had longer to go in the Navy. He got out, retired, and started KBF.
It's pretty special to have Marty back out for an episode, considering that we're going into season 10 when he was actually in the very first episode.
I don't remember a whole lot from the first show. I know we were fishing down in Southern Virginia. Cameron was on me for probably 2 hours and I didn't catch a fish. And of course, as soon as he went away, I hooked up on a really nice 8-pound largemouth on a frog. But pretty cool to be, season 1, episode 1, and now season 10, episode 1. So hopefully we can at least catch some fish and make it a good show.
Good Lord.
Yep.
What is it, like 1:30 we still ain't caught a fish?
I caught one. One.
Here we go, fish.
There we go. Oh! Come on.
Well, that sucked. That fish had a little oomph to him.
I've had some days where he struggled and then pulled it out. I've had it the other way too. He laying a big one early off. Yeah, this is gonna be great. And then just, that's the only fish you catch all day.
It's stupid shallow back here.
All that stuff back there is normally underwater.
That means there's somewhere in here stacked up. There definitely ought to be a couple fish back in this little pocket. Shallower water, it's the first one getting the sun. We're gonna ease back in here and catch a few fish. All right, guys, I wanna take a second and tell you about a piece of gear that has become indispensable for my fishing, and that is this deeper sonar. Now, it is a castable sonar. It simply connects to a little castable ring. I loop it on with a piece of braided line, or I just pitch it out on a rope. It just complements the way that I fish. It is a depth finder that lets me see what's over there or behind me without me having to go over there and spook the fish. And then I can actually watch it on my smartphone or my iPad. So it's one of those pieces of gear that is inexpensive, durable, almost bulletproof. Check out the Deeper Pro Plus sonar. It's castable, it's quality. It could be your primary depth finder or it could be a complement to what you already have. There he is. Nice. Here we go. Well, listen, that is not a monster, but on a day when conditions are tough and you got bluebird, post frontal, high pressure, to catch a fish like that is nice.
Nope. It's terrible anytime you miss a bite, but man, on a slow day when you're having trouble getting bites, to miss one like that, it just hurts that much more.
You know, back when we were both younger, I knew that Marty really had to be successful and make a lot of money. And the reason for that is that dude is tough on tackle. Every time we go fishing, he's breaking off lures, breaking off jigs, breaking rods. He's broken everything you can ever imagine. Haven't fished with him in several years, and
Son of a gun.
he's still just as good at breaking stuff off and losing stuff as he ever was.
Daggone it. Broke again. There's just so much structure up in there. About every other cast, I've been getting hung up. It's one of those places that looks just too good to not to fish thorough. So I'm gonna go back up and fish it very thorough with the jig. Let's fish. Oh, you kidding me? Oh my God. He's got me on something. See if I can get him out of there. There he comes. He's off. I try to get out whatever is around there. Ah, you got it. Ah, shoot. They just don't want to come in this boat today.
All right, guys, that is going to do it for the tow trip here. I've got too many people to thank, but I'll try to thank everybody and not forget anybody. Scylla, thank you so much. Marty, thanks for joining me again. Elmer, you are awesome. Riley, you killed it. Mike, you've got an awesome club. Thanks for the hospitality that you and Northern Virginia kayak bass anglers have shown and what you do for the community. Can't wait to get back to this area. Looking forward to having the kayak bass fishing trail event here in June of next year. The KBF Trail 2020 will be right back here in Stafford, Virginia on the Potomac River. We're excited about that. Yeah, hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll see you in the next one. Do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button, leave a comment below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. And turn on the notifications. Like, come on, man. Come on, man.